live in 5, 4,
Four,
3.
three.
And we're in.
Welcome back to the Binc Film Podcast, Mr. Rivers.
It honestly feels good to hear you say that.
This is our first live on TikTok as well.
Are we? We are.
You know what that means, right?
Do we have viewers? We do have viewers.
You know what that means?
What,
It means thank you for the flowers.
Thank you. What does that mean?
You don't know what that means?
No.
Oh, I got to add that to the list. We're going to be doing a recap of 2023.
2023.
Because crazy stuff happened this year.
This year, it's so weird you say that because, yeah, like a lot of crazy stuff happened this year. I feel like that's every year. I feel like you'd be hard pressed to find a year where nothing nuts happened. But this was the first year post-pandemic that felt reasonably normal.
Yeah?
Like masks went out the window. Like it was for the first, like we went to
For some people.
Well, I mean, yeah, I would argue for most people, dude. We went to a hospital. My mom was in the hospital recently, and I went over there to visit her, and none of the doctors, none of the nurses, like no staff had masks, and I was like, God, this feels.
How is she doing, by the way?
She's good. She's
Good.
great. That's why I've been gone for a little bit. Sorry, hi everybody, I'm back. Yeah, it's weird because a lot of crazy, just out of the blue things did happen, but at the same time, this year felt. I don't know, just more normal. Everything's more expensive. I hate that. But
Yes.
this was
Yes,
the
it
first
is.
time I turned into my dad, where I started just bitching about like the McDonald's menu.
Yep.
Like I couldn't
Yep.
believe it. I remember working at McDonald's when I was 17, and the big change then is they took the double cheese off the dollar menu and put the McDouble up there. And everybody's like, what's the difference? And I'm like, it's one slice of cheese. And they're like, okay, so how much is a double cheese? And it was like $1.37 or something like that. So you pay 36 cents or something for that extra slice of cheese. And now I go there, and to feed myself, my girlfriend, and her kid, it's like $26.
It's no exaggeration. They have literally in the last 3 years over doubled their prices.
It's wild. It's wild.
Over doubled.
Credit where it's due. I enjoy their food more now. I don't eat McDonald's a ton, probably once or twice a month. But when I do, I'm like, but this is actually a lot better than I remember it being. Excuse me.
That cat is going crazy. People can't see it, but he is just...
He's losing his mind, eating his tail.
Yeah, he's excited we're back.
Let's dive into this, man. How was your 2023?
It was good.
It was good.
It was good.
You have the mindset of it was a good year.
It was. I had some... We released our biggest, most... Maybe not our most ambitious film, but our most, let's say, overall polished and proud of film.
What's the name of that film?
That film is called Charlotte.
Yes.
And it is out now on our YouTube channel.
Yes, on the Binc Film YouTube page, which is, we're actually streaming on TikTok on the main Binc Film page because our Binc Film podcast page does not have the follower base yet. Like we've mentioned before, we've split channels. The Binc Film podcast is now its own entity on TikTok and YouTube. So do us a favor, head over there, give it a like so we can go live on the actual Binc Film page next time instead of, the actual Binc Film podcast page next time as opposed to going live on the main Binc Film page, which it's whatever to me, but Michael seems to think it's a big deal.
Yeah.
So
It was, for me personally, it was a very quiet, slow year. But
which is nice for a change.
I also had some crazy things happen too.
Don't we all?
I had my first Steam game
Nice.
release. I was interviewed by BBC.
What?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No? I feel
Yeah.
like you're lying.
No,
I feel
I'm
like you're
dead
making
serious,
no
dude.
way.
Dead serious. Their Sound of Gaming segment on BBC Radio, they interviewed me on there.
Can I
And
Google this or something?
It's on my YouTube channel. Literally the guests they had previous episodes were like Bear McCreary
What?
and they had like Jason Graves on there, and it was crazy.
For those of you who may not know, Bear McCreary is he's probably most well known for the God of War soundtrack.
He's
I would say at
becoming
this point.
super, super popular now.
Yeah. He did the God of War soundtrack, the latest God of War, not Valhalla. Well, did he? He probably did Valhalla too.
Yeah, he did.
But he's done the last two God of War soundtracks, which are fantastic, in my opinion.
Yep,
Those
and
games
then-
themselves are fantastic. I actually just beat Valhalla probably a
Yep.
month ago.
He did. It just came out like 2 weeks ago.
What game?
Valhalla.
No.
Oh, you're talking about Assassin's Creed?
No, God of War Ragnarok. That's what it is.
Oh.
Sorry, I got
they
it in my...
just released that Valhalla
Yeah,
DLC.
maybe that's where I got it mixed
Yes.
up. But yeah, he did a phenomenal job with those soundtracks. That entire Santa Monica Studios really just deserves a round of applause for those two games.
Yeah.
I mean, they are phenomenal.
But he also just recently did the Rings of Power as well.
Okay.
So yeah, he's killing it right now. But so yeah, I had that happen, and then I also had somebody ask me for my autograph for the first time.
Weird.
Which was kind of weird.
Yeah.
But
I'm hoping
cool
to get to
at
that
the
level.
same time. Yeah. What about you?
2023 was, like you said, it just felt like the first year in a while where I could just take a breath. But at the same time, I feel like I'm busier now than I've ever been. Obviously, I mean, doing the podcast takes up a fair amount of time, but it's time well spent. I really enjoy doing this. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this. So you and Michael having me on board has been a ton of fun. Obviously, my schedule just got shot to pieces the last 2 months, so I haven't been on the podcast as much, and I unfortunately will not be able to partake in the newest Binc film that's coming out, but it's going to be sick. You guys are going to love that. But man, really, as far as highlights go, I'm obviously an avid motorsports fan, as I've mentioned before. I went to more dirt races this year than I have probably in any year past, so that was a lot of fun. This year felt more like a setup for next year. I have a lot of goals and ambitions that I want to get done into 2024. But 23 was, like I said, it just felt normal for once. Going to sporting events. I went to a Vikings game towards the tail end of last season. I went to a Twins game this year. It felt nice to get back into the mix with people. And yeah, I wish it was more exciting. I wish I could be like, I got a huge promotion or I did something of note, but really this one is just a regular old year.
It's a setup year.
Yeah, that's what I'm using it as. It's a springboard into 2024.
By the way, Michael, where's our New Year's stuff?
This is the New Year's episode.
Because it's New Year's today.
Today, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
We're coming to you live on...
So I have a list here.
Yes, let's dive into it. What are you doing?
I'm going to plug my phone in.
Figure
because
it out.
I don't want this to die.
Does
while
nobody
I'm
have
doing
charged phones anymore?
it. It's late, okay? Happy New Year.
I always have
This
a charged
doesn't
phone.
work with headphones.
I mean, it is what it is.
Okay, I have a list here of crazy stuff that happened this year.
Because there was a lot.
And I'm going to try not to hang on them too much because there's a lot.
No, let's run through them.
Some of them,
You did your best. That's all anybody can ask. Just remember that.
we'll put it right here. Can we see it right here?
Yeah, but then it's on the whatever. Whatever.
Okay. Some of these have to do with politics, but they're not. They're just facts. They're things that happened. Okay.
If you're looking for spicy takes, this isn't the episode. We're going to keep this.
Okay, so I'm going to run through some of these. Are you ready? Speaking of the most normal year, the president ended the national COVID emergency.
We're not going to touch that.
There's another one people are going to get mad. It's the hottest year on record, for whatever reason that may be.
There are people seething already. Already.
The Maui fires, you remember that?
Yeah, there were
How
people
crazy that
sending
was?
videos of them just hanging out in the ocean. They're like, Hawaii's on fire. And they're just a dude chest deep in the ocean. Like, damn, that's crazy.
Southern California had its first ever tropical storm watch.
I heard about that.
Twitter became X.
Which was... Politics aside on that, what a dumb decision. Like,
I don't think it was a dumb decision
it's
at
so
all.
dumb. You take
I
an
don't.
established brand. That's like Facebook trying to change
don't.
their name to Meta.
I think it's actually a really smart move because it sort of removes everything that Twitter was and allows you to like make mistakes
Hold
and
up.
change things.
Full disclosure, I've never had a Twitter. I never got into it. It just sounds weird. Like, nobody says Yeah, I posted this on X.
I still haven't updated the app. I won't update it because it's Twitter.
It doesn't make sense. Like,
But I'm saying from like a business standpoint, I feel like it makes total sense.
No, it's corny. I posted something on my X. What'd you say about her? No, I mean my Twitter.
I'm not saying I like the name itself, but to rebrand it seems like a smart move.
That's like Mountain Dew changing its name.
That's like Mountain Dew changing its name if somebody else bought Mountain Dew and there was a bunch of controversy about that person buying Mountain Dew.
But somebody buys Mountain Dew and they're like, introducing the new Hillside Pop. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, because it's not Twitter anymore.
Whatever. I know it's the same thing. I'm bitching a lot about a platform that I don't use, so whatever. Live your lives.
Okay. The hacks this year.
Hacks.
Video game hacks.
He's hacking.
Unlike anything people have ever seen before.
Start with the GTA.
For some reason, I kind of sounded like Trump when I said that.
More hacks than ever before.
Grand Theft Auto. Did you hear about this one?
Yep, GTA 6. I don't know if that was necessarily a hack. It was...
Well, it was a hack first. There's two things that have happened. The trailer leaked.
Yeah.
But there was also a hack.
The trailer leak was staff, right? Some staff member's kid.
We assume.
That was the story that I read. But dive into the hack side here.
An 18-year-old kid, while in custody, he was being kept in a hotel room, I believe. Don't quote me on this.
If I ever go to jail, I want to be held in custody in a hotel room.
Right. He used a smartphone. An Amazon Fire Stick, and the TV, the smart TV.
Yep.
And he hacked into Rockstar and posted, it was like 70 clips or something like that all over, at the time, Twitter. I think it was Twitter at the time.
Probably wasn't.
Posted all these clips of like actual gameplay of Grand Theft Auto 6 before they had even done the trailer. And now he's going to prison for like 30 years because he said that if he gets out, he's gonna do it again.
Yeah, I saw that part. They asked him like, "What?" They're trying to give him leniency. Like,
and now,
hey, have you learned your lesson? Absolutely not. I will do so much worse.
Yeah, and now just a couple weeks ago, Insomniac got hacked and told them to pay $2 million or they were going to leak all the stuff. Well, they didn't pay it, and they released it publicly, and it's got like a bunch of private employee information, and there's like a playable build of Wolverine out on the internet right now, which is just unbelievable and really sad for the developers.
It's kind of a bummer because people are going to see that unfinished product and they're like, this game is ass. And
exactly.
Like, well,
they're already
it's
doing
not
that.
done.
They're already doing that, but 2023 also saw the release of the best show of the year, The Last of Us.
I love the games. And I didn't watch the show.
You should watch it.
I know I need to. It's not because I don't like it. It's just like, we talked about time in my schedule earlier. And just
game, the first game, was my favorite game of all time. And this show lives up to everything. It really does.
I remember beating the first game for the first time. And it was one of those stories where you finish it, you just kind of sit there for a second. I think I've talked about it on the show before, but I beat that game, and it just the way it ends when, and I'll spoil it because if you haven't played The Last of Us yet, I mean, I don't know what to tell you, man. But when he kills the lady with the fireflies, and then just flat out lies to Ellie, like, it turns out there's a bunch of people like you. Like, he didn't have the heart to tell her, like, they wanted to saw your brain out.
Yeah, watch the show.
I definitely need to.
Watch the show. You remember the Titan sub?
Oh, God.
How crazy that was. Just took over the world for like a week or two.
I feel bad in a way for those people because they became a meme overnight.
They did.
That's just unfortunate. Everybody's like, they're billionaires. They deserved it. And it's like, come on, man. Like,
2023 also saw the writer's strike.
Yes. And
the actor's strike. And if you heard, one of the last things being kept on the actors' strike, the terms that was holding it, they wanted to own an actor's likeness without their permission or their family's consent after they were dead.
For AI,
which is
generation.
Just ridiculous. On top of that, almost every streaming platform now has advertisements. I don't know if you heard this. Amazon Prime. Yep. Did you guys hear about this?
You got to pay an additional $2.99 a month.
Extra $2.99 a month. Otherwise, you're watching it with ads. But there were some good things in entertainment. We had the Oppenheimer and Barbie, or Barbenheimer, people were calling
Yeah,
it.
Barbenheimer.
Which, regardless of what you thought about the movies or anything, it was really awesome to see so many people going back to the movies.
Yeah, for two polar opposite films, it felt like. Even movies that, like I just recently saw Godzilla -1. Phenomenal. I love that movie. That's a movie that I don't think that people would go to see. When you tell people...
No.
Especially the area where we live is kind of, kind of in the middle of nowhere, Minnesota. And when you tell people the movie's entirely in Japanese and it's got subtitles, most people just tune out. But that theater was relatively full when I went and saw it.
Me too. Taylor Swift had the highest grossing concert tour. Her tour completely just...
Yeah.
People... There were so many people talking about it. Even if they didn't go, they were talking about it, how big of a deal it was.
People went and saw it in the movies. Fun fact, she's also in the news again for her jet.
Of course she is. Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, that's a thing now. Like, if somebody had said that at the beginning of 2023, you would have been like,
it's the weirdest
what?
thing to take the internet by storm, because... I don't know. I don't remember like a celebrity relationship being this closely followed.
No.
In a long time.
No.
It just came out of nowhere and everybody's like, what's Kelsey and Taylor Swift? It doesn't help the fact that Travis Kelce's played like hot ass the past couple weeks.
The whole team has.
As a Travis Kelce fantasy owner, I'm not the biggest Taylor Swift fan.
We also saw the release of Killers of the Flower Mountain Moonbeam.
Flower Mountain Moonbeam. I know you have a disdain for this film.
Here's another little memory of 2023. Our government asked the CEO of TikTok if TikTok accesses the home Wi-Fi network.
Oh, no.
Do you remember all that?
I remember that. What that makes me immediately think of is when when they brought Mark Zuckerberg in, and they're asking him all these questions like, so does Facebook know I'm using Facebook? And Zuckerberg's just sitting there like, you can hear that dial-up sound in his brain as he's trying to formulate it. Like, how do I answer that?
You remember the Ohio train derailment?
I do.
Whatever happened to that?
So that stayed in the news for a while there, because I remember they're like, it's derailed, it's bad, it's chemicals, it's going to blow up. And then it kind of got cleaned up and went away. And then quietly... that town started popping up in the news again because people started getting sick or something. And everybody's like, yo, you sure you got it all? Like, what's happening here? And then the media was just like, what is it?
Yeah,
Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift.
Yeah, then they moved on.
That's like the Flint, Michigan water crisis. Everybody's like, there's no clean drinking water in Flint. Like, oh, the McRib is back.
Yeah,
Just immediately.
I wonder what happened with that. 50,000 people died in earthquakes in Turkey and Syria.
This is a lot of depressing news.
It's a lot of depressing. Oh, here's a good one, though. 2023, we finally got to see the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer.
That's not...
Okay,
you got
fine.
something good
Here's
for humanity?
Here's another one. Here's a good one for all of humanity. Diablo 4 was released.
Oh, my God. That game's not even... Okay.
Okay, some people will say that this is good for humanity.
I only
like a certain director of a certain Killers of the Mountain Moonflower invasion. 2023, superhero movies are dead.
They gotta be. They're tanking.
Dead.
They're tanking.
They're all tanking. They're flops.
Here's. I have a theory on this. When you build something as large and impactful as outreaching as the Marvel Cinematic Universe, all their films, we knew they were leading up to this grand conclusion, which was Avengers: Infinity War, right? And when Infinity War ended, we all kind of stepped back and were like, wow, I'm satisfied with that. I mean, look.
You're talking about Endgame, you mean?
That's what I mean. I'm sorry, Endgame. When it ended, we all kind of stepped back and were like, wow, what a great series. They wrapped it up nice, neat with a bow. You need to let that simmer. Because if you start pumping more content in front of people, I think they just burn out, because you just took them on this amazing roller coaster ride of this cinematic universe, and you tied it up, and it ended really good, in my opinion. And the next year is just, here's more Marvel movies. This takes place after Avengers. And by the way, you need to watch this. I just think people are burned out.
I don't think it's that people are burned out. I think it's that people are burned out by bad movies. People are burned out of wasting their time.
Yes. It's I look at it like this. The Marvel movies are always going to do well in theaters. They're always going to sell 1 million tickets. They'll get review bombed and tank, but they're always going to sell tickets. And I compare them to Call of Duty. Call of Duty comes out every single year. And every single year, the reviews typically aren't that glowing for them. At least
Madden, sports games,
right.
in general.
At least for the past, I want to say, probably 7 years of Call of Duty. New one comes out. Everybody's like, this is awful. But it's the next thing you know is Activision's on Twitter, X, going like, hey, thanks for the most successful Call of Duty ever. And you're like, well, it's tanking. Why? How? Okay, whatever. Then the next one comes out, same thing. It goes in this cycle where people are like, this Call of Duty's ass, I hate it. The next one gets announced like, oh, I'm so excited. And it comes out like, it's ass, I hate it. The last one was better. And then the same cycle just repeats and repeats and repeats and repeats.
Yep.
Because everybody hated the latest Modern Warfare 2 until MW3 came out. And they're like, well, MW2 maybe wasn't that bad. And now everybody hates MW3. And then next year, I don't know what's next year. Apparently it's some Black Ops game that takes place during the first Gulf War. And people are going to hype that up. They're going to hate it. And then they're going to be like, well, MW3, it really wasn't that bad. And it's the same cycle.
2023, the House went 3 weeks without a speaker.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Also, you remember the Chinese spy balloon?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Like, that was crazy for like 3 days.
Yeah, I also remember it getting shot down. I had family members that were legitimately distraught about that.
Mm-hmm. It was kind of scary.
I'm at the point now, man, and maybe it's because I'm over 30 and I'm just cynical, but whatever. Like,
I mean, for sure. But it was kind of a little creepy. I think mostly just because it looked so weird.
I'm not rooting for it by any means, but when everybody's like, the Chinese have a spy balloon floating over the country, I'm like, that's great, man. Like, what am I going to do about it, right?
Yeah.
Like, yell it like old man yells at balloon. Like, I'm not going to do anything about this.
Here's something crazy for 2023. The government basically told us that aliens are real.
That was nuts. Nobody reacted to that.
Nobody cares.
The way they should have.
It's because everyone's so tired of their $29 McDonald's
Now,
meal.
wait a minute. Here's the reason why. So that initial first announcement, I think the alien thing really caught fire during COVID. When COVID was like in its peak, late 2020, early 2021. The government kind of acknowledged, like, yeah, it's something about UFOs or whatever. It's not a big deal. 2022 came, and I guess they thought we all kind of forgot about it. So then 2023 hit, and they're like, yeah, it was all real. It's whatever. And then just kind of wandered off camera, right? And like they opened the door to a crowded room where conversations were happening, and they're like, yeah, the alien stuff, you were right. And then they just shut the door, and we all kind of stopped partying, and like, who the fuck was that? And then we just went back to doing what we were do you remember there's amongst all of the like stuff with the guy in the Navy, I'm forgetting his name. But, oh, I know the pilot, the F-18 pilot. The Tic Tacs.
No, I'm talking about the newer one, the one that came out and spoke about it.
Oh, no, I have not seen this.
What? That was like that's what sparked the news this year.
Oh, there was a guy on Joe Rogan back, not that I'm a frequent Joe Rogan listener, but there was clips of it floating around of him when he was interviewed by Rogan, and he was talking about that. That's the guy I'm thinking of, the Tic Tacs.
No, this is a guy who, I can't remember the specifics, but he's a high-ranking like Navy officer or something,
okay.
And he had spoken to multiple other high-ranking people in the Navy or the military, some branch of the military, I don't remember, that had seen or had proof of ships and bodies, which interestingly
that
enough,
I did hear about, yeah.
It all like fits with the Bob Lazar story, which is pretty crazy. But amongst all that, I don't know if you remember hearing about this, there was 2 little bodies.
Were these the ones that were in like South America or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't that debunked?
So I just wanted to bring this up because I thought it was funny. I was on TikTok a couple weeks ago, and there was a video of Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yes.
Which, for some reason, people hate that guy now. Like, that's like a thing now.
He's one of those people who just got
Write
too
that
popular
down for 2023, but...
He's one of those people who got too popular too fast.
Yeah, he had a video where he was explaining why he declined an invitation to go look at those bodies. And he said that the reason he declined is because he's not a biologist.
Right.
And he's like, why would these people invite me?
That's literally what was
to
going
come
through
and
my
look
head.
At this.
When you started saying that, I'm like, well, yeah, he's going to decline it. That's like somebody coming up to me going, hey, we found this really old car, and we'd like you to come take a look at it. I don't know anything about cars.
It kind of felt like he was implying that alone was enough for him to go, yeah, this is fake. Because they're just trying, I'm a celebrity, they're trying to get me to come and look at it.
They were doing the same thing to Bill Nye for a while. They're like, Bill, what's this? And he's like, that's not my field.
A couple more things here on the 2023 list. The Hamas attack in Israel.
Yep, that happened.
The Pope approved blessings for same-sex couples if the rituals don't resemble marriage.
Which is just bizarre, but okay.
But still, that's like crazy news. NPC TikTok.
What?
NPC TikTok.
Elaborate.
Is anyone watching right now on TikTok?
I think there's 4 of them.
4? Okay. Well, they probably know. If you go on TikTok right now, this started this year at some point.
At some point.
If you go on live, there's people who are standing there like this. They're going like an NPC. You know what an NPC is?
Yeah, non-playable character. I get you.
And people are sending them like emoji coins, money, and they're reacting to the emojis. But they use the same reaction depending on what the emoji is every time.
Weird.
And it's disturbing. I'll show you after this. Dude, it is one of the most disturbing things I've ever seen. And they do it for hours.
You know what's disturbing on TikTok? And I don't know what it is to this day, but it pops up every now and again when I'm scrolling through it. There's live feeds on TikTok. Obviously, we're doing it right now. But I've come across live feeds of dudes who look like they're in like the Philippines or somewhere, and it's just a depressed, sad-looking man who looks like he hasn't slept in years playing Minecraft, and just these weird sounds being in the background. Like he'll do something and then like some weird like weeb voice, ba-da-ding, doo-doo-doo, ba-da-ding, doo-doo-doo, and this dude just looks like he wants to blow his brains out.
Dude,
I don't know if it's real. I don't know if there's a man being held hostage in a basement somewhere being forced to play Minecraft. I can't figure it out. It makes me uncomfortable.
I used to think that Twitch was weird. TikTok Live is the weirdest thing you can experience in life.
I'm convinced I'm going to come
so
across somebody getting
strange.
beheaded one day.
It's so weird. No, you won't. You'll come across a video of someone cosplaying as somebody being beheaded while their grandparents are watching.
I don't know,
some
man.
Weird video in the background.
I fully expect
it's
to be
too
like
random.
Video game video, politic video,
gotta be,
sports, and then one more swipe and boom.
No, that's Twitter. That's Twitter, not TikTok. TikTok is too random where you would find a TikTok video and you'd be like, is that guy getting beheaded right now? Or like, what am I looking at?
Yeah.
I don't even know what I'm looking at right now.
It's funny that Twitter is like the one place you go to now to like watch horrific videos because you can't put them on Reddit anymore. You remember that? If you ever went on Reddit,
I haven't been on Reddit.
There was a subreddit that was all like devoted to just horrific things.
Yeah,
and then
I think they started shutting that stuff down.
They did because the Australia shooter guy, his video made it to that subreddit, and they're like, nope. I got to be careful. So if the people on live were just like, "What's he doing?" I'm like, I have to be cautious and cognizant.
The Bud Light boycott.
That was so weird. It's just weird.
There was a couple others that followed too, wasn't there?
I don't remember.
Like there was the Target thing, the whole Target thing with the clothing. People were boycotting Target.
I just deadpan stare at the wall when I read stories like that. Like, well, I'm not drinking Bud Light anymore, and I'm just like.
There were some good ones where people were boycotting Bud Light and drinking a different beer.
Yeah.
Bud Light owned.
Yeah,
that was like owned by Anheuser-Busch. Like, I'm going to drink Corona now. And I'm like, hello? Like,
2023, Spain won the World Cup. The Texas Rangers won the World Series.
Good for the Rangers, by the way.
And the Denver Nuggets won the NBA Finals.
And good for the Nuggets, by the way.
Vegas Golden Knights won the Stanley Cup.
Not a fan.
And the grand finale of 2023.
Chiefs.
Probably the biggest news in all of 2023.
Are you just not going to cover the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl or what?
That's not really news.
It happened.
Yeah, but like it's the Chiefs. They're gonna win the Super Bowl.
Not this year.
Not this year. Biggest news.
The Lions will.
Biggest news of 2023. You want to guess what it is? Drum roll.
I'm trying to. Yeah, I know it's gonna be something dumb because.
It's not dumb. AI taking over the world.
Okay, that was.
I don't mean like robots. I mean like it's used on everything now. Like AI is the thing.
Yeah, I work in a sales position, and we use AI to generate sales emails. It's
Like,
kind of cool.
Yeah, like out of all the things on this list, just looking back at it, obviously there's like some really terrible, tragic stuff. So I'm not downplaying any of that. But I think the biggest news on here for just like implications of the future has to be
AI.
the technology
Yeah.
with AI. Because it's going to change every aspect of every person's life.
Technology has progressed so exponentially over the past 30 years that it's crazy, right? So like if you look at, I've used this as an example in the past. If you go from like 1850 to 1870, it's, yeah, there's advancements, but not astoundingly so. If you look at 1950, when television sets were not commonplace in a household, automobiles were still very much in their infancy, and radio was something that you had in your house or your car. And then you fast forward to 1970, it's insane. Like everybody's got a television set in their house. Some of them even color. And was the cassette Walkman a thing then? I think it might have been. Even
sure.
fast forward to 1980 when you start talking about like CDs are starting to become a thing. And then go 30 years forward from 1980, right? 1980 to 90, 2000, 2010, 2010. I barely made it through high school. To 2010, look at the technology leap, right? 1980, I think the best you could hope for was like a portable CD player. Television sets weighed as much as a car. And you fast forward to 2010, and it's like all my music
got
is
the iPod
on my phone. By the way, your phone isn't something hooked up to the wall in your kitchen anymore. It's in your pocket everywhere you go. And
here's a little weird thought for you going forward into 2024 for everyone. When we are all old, or even 100 years from now, people will look back at this time period as being the 20s.
that's so weird.
Like we live in the 20s.
You know what's weird to me? I read an article the other day that said the first person to live to 150 has already been born.
That is weird.
Wild to think about.
One other thing I'd like to add to that list, you just reminded me, and I've been wanting to talk about this because it drives me nuts, and I noticed this starting in 2023. There is a word for everyone watching. You're guilty of this too. There is a word that has taken over 2023.
Fleek.
In YouTube videos, TikTok videos, live streams, shorts, podcasts, everything. This one stupid word comes out of every person's mouth 40 times a day, and I cannot stand it anymore. I have to say something about it.
And it's...
Wild.
Dude, I've been using wild for years.
Wild. Every video I watch, they use the word wild. Yeah, and I watched this video and it was just wild.
My man, I've literally been using the word wild for years.
I'm telling you, everyone, the next few videos
Our
you
hockey
watch,
team is the Minnesota Wild.
listen for it. You know what I mean. Listen for it.
I've
You
said
will
it
hear
probably
it.
4 or 5 times this video.
You will hear it. Everyone uses that word
Look, man.
so much now.
I feel like
It's like it's losing its meaning.
there's so many other words that just I feel are overused. Most of them politically, so I'm not going to dive into it, but there's a lot. I remember like the slang words. I'm starting to fall behind on slang, which is
wild.
driving me nuts is what it is. My little brother is 15 years old and he says things and I'm like, "Hey, what'd you just call me? Like walk that back? Like what does that mean?"
Do you still want to do that list for 2024, or should we do that after trivia, or should we? What do you think?
Talk to me.
Trivia?
We'll end on things to look forward to for 2024.
All right, we're gonna do a little bit of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire trivia.
This was fun the last time I did it.
So
It's better than the
time,
stupid Star Wars trivia.
No, we'll do that again eventually.
I don't want to.
Well, too
Because you
bad.
lied to me last time.
didn't
You're
lie
like,
to
no,
you.
there's going to be questions from all the other movies. And you're like, in episode 4, there was a movie that came out 2 movies earlier in episode 2. And that movie sucks.
That
I
was
don't want-
hilarious.
Ugh, no, it was awful. It's a horrible experience.
Dude, some of the comments we got on that video were wild.
Shut up.
All right, question number 1. We're going to see how far you can get in 1998, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
The fact that this is from 1998.
I actually don't know when it's from. I just say that every
Say on the
time.
card.
The year, it'll say on the box.
It probably does. Here, take a look.
I'm trying to think of the first time I saw this
Or
show,
on
and
that.
I think it
Might
was
be on that.
2000.
All right, question number 1 for $100. Jack and Jill went up the hill for a pail of what?
Water, final answer.
Oh, good for you.
There it is.
Feel good about that
The
one?
problem is the
You feel
live
good about
audience
that
isn't
one?
going to hear the soundboard. That's a bummer.
You feel good about that one?
I do feel good about that one.
Okay.
We'll figure something out later for TikTok Live.
Can we wire the phone to, like,
We can probably hook
for
it
all
up.
3 of our viewers? Hi, everybody.
Question number 2.
My monitor is blurry as hell.
Yeah.
There's no, like, they can't, no, you don't have to do that, but, oh, now it's, all right.
Question number 2 for $200.
I've made a mistake. I shouldn't have said anything.
In 1993,
Oh, boy.
Mark Wahlberg modeled underwear for which designer?
Calvin Klein, final answer. It's a round of applause if you can't hear it, which you can't. I know you can't because of the
Hat's
soundboard.
falling off.
Can we make the soundboard come through a speaker?
We could, but then it's going to feed back through the microphones.
Just make Michael edit it out.
I mean, like, it could feed back in, like,
Loop?
yeah. I'm not saying for the editing, I'm saying for our ears. All right, question number 3. Our dad did this last time, and this was the last one he got right.
Okay.
What was the name of the friendly cartoon ghost? Was it Jasper,
Oh,
Whisper, Casper, or Lester?
it's Casper. Final answer. It threw me for a loop because you're like the cartoon ghost, and I was like, Casper was a live action film, but they did make a cartoon with him. I do remember now.
Jasper.
Jasper, the friendly ghost, dude.
Wasn't it me that said Jasper the one time on accident?
You did. I do remember that.
Question number 4 for $500. Which city's streets were used for the first edition of Monopoly? Was it New York City, Philadelphia, Atlantic City, or Boston? And you do have a phone a friend, remember?
I'm gonna go with Atlantic City.
That's your final answer?
He said Boston
I'm just guessing aside from you.
because there's a boardwalk.
Okay.
Which, yeah, Atlantic City. Final answer. Yeah,
You are correct.
I'm so good at this freaking game, dude.
Okay. Question number 5 for $1,000. What breed of dog was Lassie? Dalmatian, German Shepherd, Collie, or Jack Russell?
She was a collie.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Oops, sorry, wrong one. Oh, wow, you got 5 down. You're going for 2,000 now.
That should be on the show, man.
What is the name of the amorous but smelly cartoon skunk? Elmer Fudd, Pepe Le Pew, Flower, or Sylvester?
It's Pepe Le Pew, but there is a Flower as well. That's his girlfriend. No, Flower's in Bambi. Sorry.
Final answer?
Yeah,
Wow, I'm impressed.
you should be. I'm impressive.
All right. For $4,000. Bob Dylan's son, Jacob, was a member of which 1997 Grammy-nominated band?
Didn't Bob Dylan's son fall out of a window?
Poppy Seed, Wallflowers, Willow Tree, or the Dave Matthews Band?
Oh, God. Can I use my phone a friend on that one?
You can.
Okay.
Don't show us your phone though.
I'm not going to. I'm just going to call my mom.
You're going to have to hand me your phone again.
Please answer.
Hello?
Hey, you're live on the podcast, so don't say anything ridiculous, but I'm playing Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and I have a question, and I'm using you to help
Here.
me answer.
Okay,
Okay. Hold on. All right, here's the question. Are you ready?
Over.
I'm ready.
Bob Dylan's son, Jacob, was a member of which 1997 Grammy-nominated band? Was it Poppy Seed, The Wallflowers, Willow Tree, or Dave Matthews Band?
The Wallflowers.
The Wallflowers. All right, I'm going to go with Wallflowers.
All right.
Final answer.
You got to hang up.
I have to hang up?
Yeah, you have to hang up before. That's how it works. That's how the show works. You got to hang up.
Love you, Mom.
I love you.
Bye.
All right. Is that your final answer?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Wallflowers.
Oh!
Yay! Mom bailing me out. I wanted to say Wallflowers, but then I was like, I don't know.
All right. For $8,000, what does a protractor measure?
Oh, shoot.
Is it velocity, humidity, angles, or land elevation?
Angles, final answer. I know it, but I get so nervous that like I'm missing something, if that makes sense.
Okay, 16,000.
I can't believe I've made it this far. This is a threshold
can't
point
either.
too, isn't it? If I get this one right, no matter what I lose at the end, like I still get, yeah, whatever.
I
it is.
don't remember.
I'm fairly certain it went 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, and whatever. I don't remember.
What river does John Denver mention in Take Me Home Country Road? Is it Alabama, Shenandoah, Colorado, or Mississippi? I hope I pronounced that right.
Oh, God.
I'm singing in my head right now.
That's what I am too. But all I get is West Virginia. Wish you would have said the state.
The beginning of the song.
Give me the names of the rivers again?
Alabama.
No.
I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right.
Shenandoah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Colorado or Mississippi.
Colorado, final answer.
Shenandoah.
Damn!
It was the Shenandoah.
Fudge!
I don't know. I've never even heard of that. I don't know what that is.
Shenandoah River. It's in like the first line of the song.
No, it's not. He's Googling it. All right, damn, I forgot this man has a laptop.
Yeah, they get much harder after that.
Yeah, I believe it.
In which European country do 100 grazie equal 1 zloty?
What?
You ready for this?
Y'all ready for
The
this?
beginning of the song for Take Me Home Country Roads. Almost Heaven, West Virginia,
Yeah,
Blue Ridge Mountain,
yeah.
Shenandoah River.
Yeah, there it is.
That's how the song starts.
Stupid. What a dumb song.
Well,
Was it Bob Dylan's kid who fell out the window, or was that John Denver?
I don't know.
You have the laptop, bro. Like, can you
I
help?
know. Let's move on.
Wow. All right. So the next portion, it's so weird doing the podcast with a live like I'm sure there's like 2 people watching, maybe not even any, but it's weird doing the podcast live because we have our pauses like we normally would, which we just cut out and we just roll into our next segment. But now these people have to watch this awkwardness while you're just scrolling through your phone, and I'm like hitting my vape in the corner.
I have for the last end of the episode here, I have a 2024 what's coming.
Okay.
So these are some good things.
Good things coming in
Yep.
2024?
First up, the ice caps will melt and sea level-
Jesus,
I'm just
bro.
kidding. I'm kidding. Does my microphone sound different to you now?
What'd you do?
No, you sound fine.
No? Okay. The presidential election in the United States
Is
will
that a
be
good
next
thing?
year. Maybe.
You said it was a good thing.
It could be. I'm being optimistic. Maybe. Listen to this list of movies coming out.
Now this I'm excited about.
Deadpool 3,
Nice.
The Joker 2,
Really?
Twisters,
Wait, what?
Dune.
Stop. Twisters?
You haven't heard about that?
What is that about?
It's a sequel.
It's a sequel to Twister?
Yes. How have you not heard about that?
I've heard about it, but no, like nothing's ever come out from it. Can you IMDb that? What? Fill me in. Are you certain?
That's just what it says. I don't know.
July 19th.
Bull.
Dune.
Who's in it?
Okay, are we moving along?
No.
Nobody cares about Twister. Nobody cares about Twister.
I need to know about this. I'm sorry. I have to. You shouldn't have said anything. That's your fault. Dune. I know.
Dune
Glenn
Part
Powell.
2. Bad Boys 4.
That's just not needed.
A Quiet Place Day 1.
Again, probably not needed.
What do you mean? It's a prequel for when the aliens show up. That'd be sweet.
Borderlands.
I thought the second one was the prequel.
Borderlands. It was not a prequel. It just had a flashback scene.
Oh, okay.
Transformers again.
Again, dude.
Gladiator 2
Weird.
and The Karate Kid.
Again, not necessary. There's a couple of those I'm excited for. Here's my thing. Dune's on that. I saw the first one, and I thought it was a good film. Here's the problem. I lived 2 blocks from a movie theater at the time that movie came out.
So you go to the movies a lot?
And I frequent the films. And my ex-wife had just moved out, so I had the house to myself, and I had no obligations. And I remember when that movie came out, I'm like, I'm going to go see this movie. It was some random Saturday. And I smoked a fat J before I went and saw that movie. Hindsight being what it is, the movie was good. I don't think I appreciated it nearly as much as I should have, because that movie ended, and I was like, wow, that was really cool. What happened? I don't know.
Well, I think the TV shows that are coming are even more exciting.
If you say Halo, I'm leaving.
Fallout.
Okay,
Did you see the trailer for
I
that?
did see the trailer for that.
Daredevil Born Again, which I wouldn't be surprised if that gets moved another year.
Probably.
Echo, which looks pretty good.
It does.
House of the Dragon Season 2.
I've never seen a Game of Thrones show in my life.
And The Bear Season 3.
I don't know what that is.
I haven't seen it either, but it's pretty popular. So, lots of exciting things to come in 2024.
Yes, absolutely.
We have a movie we're shooting in a couple weeks. And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year indeed. I wish we could light it up and pop champagne, but there's a lot of expensive equipment in here, so.
All right. Well, I will give you the honors of the outro since you've been gone for so long.
I don't even know if I can do it. I've been gone so long. Thank you again for watching the Big Film Podcast, and thank you to you. Yes, you. All 3 of you. Is there 3 of them? How many are there? 4? You sure? Thank you all 4 of you for tuning into the first live session of the Binc Film Podcast. I am Joshua Rivers. Across from me is Eric Gordonberg, the EGB. We know you got a lot of options when it comes to entertainment and where you spend your time on social media, and we want to thank you for spending it with us. If you're new here, please go follow the Binc Film Podcast page on TikTok, YouTube, and where else we at? Instagram. The Binc Film Podcast is on Instagram, but you know it's not on Instagram? Binc Film. And we'll talk about that next time because I got to wrap this up. So we'll
talk about it in the new year. It'll be one of the things to come.
That's true. You can find all of us on social media. You can find myself, Joshua Rivers, on TikTok with the handle Stop That Rivers. You can also find me on Instagram with the handle Stop That Rivers. I don't post anything. I have a couple things on TikTok that have gotten a few views, so maybe you'll like them, maybe not. You can find Eric Gordonberg with the handle Eric Gordonberg. You can find our producer, Michael Darwinberg, at the handle Michael Darwinberg. And as always, thank you so much, again, for spending your time with us. We appreciate it. We'll see you on the next one.
Cut.
And there it is.